The Shir Ze'ela Nishmas Elimelech ben Levi Yitzchak Oshesh Melchaim ben Ephraim Esther Basara Tzvi Dov ben Chaim Pesach Yitzchak ben Sarah Devorah bas Yitzchak Chana Itel bas Moshe David Avram ben Mordechai David Ruven ben Shmuel Chana Golda bas Yisrael Chaim ben Fege Yaakov ben Yitzchak Yeshua ben Shmuel Mordechai Netzach ben Rivka Zamalei ben Moshe Amichai ben Yaakov Leila Nishmatam.
Devorah bas Yitzchak is your side tomorrow.
Devorah bas Yitzchak is your side is tomorrow. Okay. Leila Nishmata. Today's topic is, what is the Torah view on showing mercy for terrorists? What is the Torah view on showing mercy for terrorists? You know, the Mishnah says in Masechta Avot, Hafoch ba v'afoch ba the kula ba, right, Rivka? Keep turning over the Torah, because the answer to everything, Yoel, is found in the Torah. You just got to know where to look. But before we begin, I don't know if you heard about it, David, Obama had a model Seder in the White House this week. Every year he does, and he had one this year also. But at the end of the Seder, he became violently ill. Did you hear this, Shona? He began to throw up, and convulsions. Pitom. So, suddenly. So they called the White House doctor, and they examined him. Maybe he ate too much matzah, maybe he ate too much moror, maybe he drank 6 cups of wine instead of 4. The doctor examined and found no food poisoning. So it couldn't be the matzah, moror, or the wine. So the doctor said, Mr. President, what happened? All of a sudden he began throwing up and being convulsions. He says at the end of the Agada, they read, L'shana haba b'Yushalayim habnuyah. And they translated, next year we're going to build more settlements in Jerusalem. So I began to throw up. Got violently sick. Get it, David? L'shana haba b'Yushalayim habnuyah. More built up settlements in Jerusalem. So the abomination began to throw up. Okay? Okay. What? So anyway, let's take a look at our sheets. What is the Torah view on showing mercy to terrorists? Side number 1. It's amazing how the Torah addresses our current situation. Side number 1. Yo, you have a paper? Side number 1. This is from Devorah Perik Zayin, verse 16. Okay, it's in my handwriting. Devorah Perik Zayin, verse 16. It says, Lo sochai seinecha aleihem. You have that, Yehuda? Lo soch on top on side number 1, David. You have that in my handwriting? Devorah Perik Zayin, verse 16. Lo sochai seinecha aleihem. What does that mean? Don't have mercy on them. Lo sochai seinecha. Your eyes should not show pity aleihem on them. Who are them? I think our peace partners. Says the Ramban. Listen to this, Mikimya. Says the Ramban on this verse, Devorah 7 verse 16. Says the Ramban, Ki barachmonot hashoftim hatipshim. Yiddish? Ki barachmonot hashoftim hatipshim. On the mercy of the foolish judges, Yavet kol mishpat. All justice is what? Destroyed. The Ramban, writing in the year 1265, David, was speaking about our bagats. I think it's called the high court, maybe the low court. The Ramban had Ruach HaKodesh, Ki barachmonot hashoftim hatipshim. Right? Herb Zatzal would always say that. But I don't know if he knew it's coming from the Ramban. Ki barachmonot hashoftim hatipshim. The mercy of the foolish judges. Yavet kol mishpat, all justice is what? Destroyed. So let's look at some of the sources here. We're just coming out of Purim, right? In pasok Hey, it says, Vayakwa Yehudim b'chol aveyem makas cherev v'herev avdon v'yasu b'saneim kertzainam. Verse number 5, the Jews killed their enemies with the sword, slaughtering and annihilating, and they treated those that hated them as they pleased. This is in the Megillah, right? And verse 16, Tezayin Shara Yehudim Hashem Didas HaMelech Nekhalu v'amdu al nafsham v'noyach meyaveyem v'hargu b'sarneihem kama chamisha v'shivim olev. You hear this? Verse 16, throughout the Persian Empire, the Jews defended themselves and they killed out Chava, how many? 75,000 terrorists. I think Bernie Sanders would not be too pleased. I don't think so, Rivka. I think Bernie Sanders would have a problem with that.
He would diminish the number.
What? What?
Diminish the number of them.
What? 75,000. Because if someone comes to kill you, you're supposed to get up and kill him first.
Maybe he
Right?
caught a million.
Right?
Maybe he caught a million persons we killed.
At the bottom conclusion, after you apologize, it's disproportionate, he decided. Of course, it went down
It's
to
not 10,000? Oh, it's not 10,000 anymore. Oh.
That's 1,500.
All right.
Disproportionate.
Now, what is the message to our IDF soldiers when they see their comrade arrested? Right? What's the... Don't shoot the mechabel. Don't shoot him. Try to negotiate with him. Open season, chas v'sholom, to murder Jews. Now they're going to be afraid to defend themselves. And there are many cases where they thought when the mechabel was down. Just a few months ago in Geula, David. In Geula, the terrorist driving a Bezek car got out of the car with a meat cleaver. Yeah. He was shot. He was down for a few minutes, but he wasn't out, down and out. He got up and he continued to hack away with the meat cleaver. Because they didn't shoot him the first time in the head.
Rabbi, blame it on human resources.
Human resources, whatever. But we are worst own enemy. A worst own enemy, unfortunately. A worst own enemy, unfortunately. Worst, yeah. So look at the Rambam, Hilchas Avodah Zarah. The Rambam was not PC. The Ramban and the Rambam, if they live today, Chav, I think the Shavak will be knocking at their door. Who's that knocking on my door? It's a good thing Nachmanides or Maimonides, Sharona, don't live today because I think they get a couple of visits from the Shavak. Huh? Because what Ramban says, Rachmana tashoftim atipshim. He's knocking the low court. False mercy, foolish, stupid judges, Mishpat is destroyed. Look at the Rambam, Hilchas Avodah Zarah. See that? Who the Rambam, Hilchas Avodah Zarah? Bas Yisrael loitino loitanik et beno shel nochris. A Jewish woman should not nurse the child of a non-Jew, since by doing so, she raises a child who will be what? An idler, an idol worshiper. She should not serve as a midwife for a non-Jewish woman without charge. She may, however, do for a fee, lest it cause hatred. Okay? Now, look at the next halacha, right? An idolatrous woman, a non-Jewish woman may serve as a midwife for a Jewish and may nurse the child. That means you can have a nursemaid to nurse a Jewish baby. Huh? A non-Jewish woman can nurse a Jewish baby. Huh? Wow. So the question is, how come baby Moshe, remember the Gemara in Sota 12 says that Mrs. Basparo, she passed Moshe, baby Moshe, to Mitzri midwives and he wouldn't nurse.
He would nurse.
He would not nurse. Didn't little baby Moses know this Rambam? Chava, I don't understand. A non-Jewish woman may serve as a midwife for a Jew, and she may nurse a Jewish child. So how come baby Moses refused to nurse Yehuda for my Mitzri lady?
Moses is a little higher standard.
Moshe we have higher standards. So B'tzad halacha is not a problem for a non-Jewish woman to nurse a Jewish baby, but holy Moses, he was machmir, David, he was machmir. I'm also a big machmir. I tell my wife machmir dos and machmir dos and machmir dos. I'm a big machmir too. Anyway, he did lifnim mishur sadin because mitzad halacha is not a problem for a non-Jewish woman to nurse a Jewish child. This is the Rambam Hilchos Avodah Zarah, chapter 9. Okay, now look at section number 1, please. The halacha is in ba lahargacha hashkem lahargo. If someone comes to kill you, get up and what? Doesn't say shoot him in the leg or negotiate with him. If someone comes to kill you, get up and kill him first. David, section 1. The amazing Gemara in Yuma, page 22. Remember, every Jew at 22. Yuma 22, the Gemara says, Mi shemerachem al achzar. I have a good handwriting, Huda. I wrote it in my handwriting. I have that. Mi shemerachem al achzar. Anyone who shows mercy and compassion to the cruel, Sofa liot achzar, in the end he will show cruelty al Rahman, on what? The compassionate. The Gemara in Yuma 22, and that's Shaul HaMelech. Shaul HaMelech, this Elisha, he was sent to kill out Amalek, so he argued with God. He said, what? Why can you kill innocent terrorists? God, what are you talking about? Killing innocent terrorists is not the way to go. So he showed mercy to the cruel. In the end, he was cruel to the merciful because he killed out the entire Novi HaKohanim. All right? So look at section number 1. General Eisenkot, the Israel IDF Chief of Staff, added that the IDF does not operate according to Jewish slogans. What? What's a slogan? It's halakha. A slogan.
That's the bottom line. The
IDF does not operate according to slogans. That's a slogan. And he offered as an example the biblical inspired injunction, which is a halakha, rise up to kill those who come to kill you. No. He says he's more moral than the Torah. I think he wants to be more religious than God. Yes? Now what's the next quote? This is a quote from Eisenkot, February 22nd. We don't operate on the slogan as a biblical inspired halakha, habo lahargacha, hashkem lahargo. And what does Boogie Yalon say? It is forbidden for us to forget our humanity and get out of control just because our blood boils. So what are you supposed to do? What? What are you supposed to do? What? Negotiate with the poor terrorist, right? Now, there's one pasok in the Torah, David, that our government is doing with kol hachumras. Devorah 28, Yehuda. You look at Deuteronomy 28, it says, Yak Hashem b'shigaon. God will strike your leaders with madness. Yiddish, Ephraim, I think that pasuk they're doing with all of the chumras. Yak Hashem b'shigaon. God will strike your leaders with madness. And in pasuk Lamed Dalet, the same chapter, Yehuda 28, Vayita mishuga. What does that mean? It's a mitzvah to be insane. Remember Crazy Eddie? His prices are insane. Vayita mishuga. So at least 2 psukim in the Torah, Ephraim, they're doing with all the Hidurim. All right? Now, if you look at Exodus chapter 22, where is the halacha come from? In Bo lahargo hashkem lahargo. Exodus chapter 22, in the bottom of side 1. Pasuk Aleph. Ibn machteres yimotz haganav, v'hukav omet ein loy damim. If while breaking in, the thief is discovered and he is struck and he dies, it is as he has no blood. Someone is coming to kill you. Ein loy damim. What does that mean?
Doesn't have any blood.
What do you mean he doesn't have any blood? He's already dead. He's like a zombie, dead man walking. Who starred in that? Humphrey Bogart. Dead man walking. You hear the Torah say, Ein loy damim. If someone is out to kill you, even if he doesn't succeed, he wants to kill you, Ein loy damim. And you kill him, it's like you killed someone that has no blood, i.e. someone who's already what? Dead. Okay? Now, take a look at side number 2. It's incredible how the Torah addresses all of our problems. Chanoch, if only our fearless leaders would what? Study the Torah, but they think they're more moral than God. That's never the whole problem. That's never like Shaul HaMelech, right? We'll see soon. Like Shaul HaMelech, what the Torah tells him, Al Tehit Tzadik Harbeh. In Koheles chapter 7, I'm reading again, I forgot to mention that. Go back to side number 1 on top. See side number 1 on top? Koheles Zion. There's a pasuk in Koheles Zion, Yehud, on top of side number 1. Al Tehit Tzadik Harbeh. What does that mean? Don't be overly righteous. This is what God told. This is a verse in Koheles. This is what God told Shaul HaMelech. Right? You're defending innocent terrorists. Al Tehit Tzadik Harbeh. Don't be a big tzaddik. Having rachmanis on bloodthirsty murderers, terrorists, who don't think twice about killing innocent women and children. No. Have to treat them. You have to negotiate with them. Al tehit tzaddik harbeh. Don't be too much of a tzaddik. Don't show Rachmanas Hashoftim Hatipshim. Let's go to side number 2, please. Side number 2. This is from Parshas Shoftim, Deuteronomy chapter 20, Yoel. You can look it up. Parshas Shoftim, Deuteronomy chapter 20. The Torah says, Ki tzeitze lamachama aloivecha. When you go out to war against your enemy. So Rashi has a question. Who else do you go to war to? Chanoch, against your friend? There are no extra words in the Holy Torah. There's exactly 304,805 letters in a Torah scroll. If you don't believe me, you can count. So it's bothering Rashi, Yoel, is, it says, don't go, when you go to war against your enemy. So who else do you go to war? It's like, do X, Y, and Z. Why does the Torah have to add aloivecha? Isn't it superfluous? David, isn't it redundant? You don't go to war against your friend. Obviously, you go to war against what? Your enemy. So why does it have to, what?
Why does the Torah say that?
That's Rashi's question. On side number 2 on top. Ki teitzel lachama aloivecha. Who else do you go to war if not your enemy, not your friend? So what is the Torah teaching me, says Rashi? I mean, Rashi wrote this in 1060. Rivka. Yeh be'enecha ka'oivim. Let them be in your eyes like an enemy. Al terachem aleihem. Al terachem aleihem. What does that mean? Don't have mercy on them. Ki lo yerachmu elecha. Because they sure as hell are not going to show you any mercy. Let's say the shoe was on the other foot. Huh? Right? How much mercy would they show a IDF soldier down, and how much mercy would they show him? They tear him to pieces, Shirley. Huh? They don't send, right? They'll tear him to pieces. What a Rashi.
Wow.
Yiddish Elisheva. Yeh b'yanecha ka'oivim. Side number 2 on top. You should remember they're your enemy. Al terachem aleihem. Show them no mercy. Ki lo yerachmu elecha, because they sure as hell will not show you any mercy. But the chief of the IDF, David, he knows better. The chief of the IDF knows better. Unfortunately. What? Ein loy damim. You see, you have it, Yehuda, side 2, which says Aleph, Ein loy damim. What does the Torah say? Someone is coming to kill you, Ein loy damim. So the Gemara actually explains in Masechta Sanhedrin, source Aleph on side 2, Ein loy damim, Ein zu retzicha. This is not called murder. Why? Hareyu made miakoroi. Once he's coming after you, whether he succeeds or not, his life is already what? Forfeit. Kal l'madacha Torah. Here the Torah is teaching. In ba lahargacha is coming to kill you. Hashkem lahargo. Get up and what? And kill him first.
We don't even have, most people don't even have guns.
Well,
How are you going to kill him?
a baseball bat.
The guy's got a 12-inch
A
gun.
baseball bat. What? No. Right. So look at the English. You have that?
People, there are people.
He has no blood. It's not considered murder. Why? It's like the guy who's already dead. So here the Torah teaches you, if someone comes to kill you, get up and kill him first. Okay? And show him no mercy. Show him no mercy. Look at the next source, Talmud Bavi Masechta Sanhedrin. Right? Mishnah, Habor b'machteres, Nidan Hashem, so someone is coming after you, he breaks into your home, he's threatening you, he is judged on what's the end. What's the end? Gemara Amar Rava, my Talmud Machteres Chazaka Eino Damamid Atzmai Al Memono. So what does that mean? The Mishnah. You see the Mishnah? The thief who borrows his way into your home is judged on account of what? Outcome. See, the Gemara, Rava said, what is the reason for the law of the breaking in? It means someone is threatening you. It is certain that no man is inactive where his property is concerned, or his life. Therefore, this one must have reason. If I go there, he, the owner, will oppose me and prevent me. But if he does, I'll kill him. So therefore, the Torah decreed, get up first and what? Slay him first. You slay me. Remember that when I was in 1960s, Rabbi Yaakov? You remember Sharon? No? You slay me. They don't, the last 50 years, I don't think they say it anymore. You never, don't remember that, Elisheva? You slay me. No, I'm dating myself. I am dating myself. Right? Okay. So anyway, section 2. Section 2. How should a Jew conduct himself in war? Section 2, this is from Rambam Chapter 25. Torah said, the Torah says, Torah et Midyanim, what does they say in verse 16? Right? Be in a state of war with the Midianites and wipe them out. Why? Pasok Yud Ches. Why? Ki tzorim heim lachem. For they are in a state of war with you through their conspiracy that they conspired against you in the matter of Peor and the matter of Cosby. Not Bill Cosby. Cosby, the daughter of the chief of Midian, who was slain on the day of the plague in the matter of Peor. Remember it's just incredible what the Midianites did. Now, normally a person would give his life to defend the honor of his daughter, right? A person would give his life to defend his daughter's honor. Here, the Midianites forced their own daughters into prostitution in order to destroy Israel. That means their hatred for us, Yoel, is stronger than the love for their own children. You know anybody like that? I think it's Abu Mamzer. The Midianites, Reuven, wouldn't a father give his life to protect his daughter's honor? Here, the Midianite fathers purposely forced their daughters to prostitute themselves to destroy Israel through immorality. That means their hatred for Am Yisrael is much stronger than the love of what? Of their own children. It's describing our peace partners, Abu Mamzer and his friends, where they hate us more than they love their own children. So anyway, it's before Pesach. It's before Pesach, and it's incredible that current events just doesn't happen stam before Pesach. What does Pesach speak to us today about our current situation? We have the first day of Pesach, Yehuda. Pesach is the only two day yontif from the Torah. You know that. Rosh Hashanah is only one day in the Torah. Pesach is the only 2-day yontif from the Torah. Shana is only one day in the Torah. Why? Because the first day, Chanoch, of Pesach celebrates the Exodus from Egypt. And the last day of Pesach celebrates the splitting of the Red Sea. So therefore, there's two separate miracles. Therefore, they did two separate yontifs. Know that, right? Rishon Shal Pesach celebrates the Exodus. We left on the 15th of Nisan. So that's first day of Pesach. 7 days later, Shvi Shal Pesach. Why do you make Kiddush again? Because another miracle happened. What happened? Splitting of the Red Sea. Remember the movie? Book is better. But I don't understand. You look in the book of Joshua, 40 years after Moses split the Red Sea, Joshua split the Jordan. Wow. Look in Joshua 1. What am I, chopped liver? And how come there ain't no yontif to commemorate that? Do you know when it was? Happened to be the 10th of Nisan. But how come Sharona, what am I, chopped liver? I could use another day off. If there's a 7th day Pesach to commemorate splitting of the Red Sea. So 40 years later, Joshua split the Jordan. So how come there's no yontif? I could use another day off. Why? And how does it tie in to our situation?
Because the Jews weren't in danger. And it was a
The Jews weren't in danger. So what? There's still a miracle. Wonder of wonder, miracles of miracles. La 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 la. Reuven, I'm not chopped liver. Joshua split the Jordan. Look at Joshua 1. Nobody says anything about it. You didn't even know when it was, right? It was the 10th of Nisan. Chanoch, you didn't know. That's when it was.
10th of what?
10th of Nisan. 40 years later, but how come there's no yontif? You know, nobody talks about it or anything. So the answer is found, yes. You don't have it on your sheet, but go ahead.
So, in terms of the actions of the Exodus and the Red Sea, those were defensive actions.
Defensive actions. So that's why we have a holiday.
Well,
What?
but in terms of
Joshua, the Jews couldn't get across.
but that was for an offensive purpose.
So that's why there's no yontif?
Maybe.
Well, I don't understand. What's it got to do? It's a great miracle. Let me see you try split the Jordan River. Huh? No yontif, nothing. So the answer is found. You get home, you can look it up. The answer is found in Talmud Bavli, Masechta Sota, Daf Lamed Daled Amud Aleph. The answer is found in Tractate Masechta Sota, Daf Lamed Daled Amud Aleph. So in English, it's Tractate Sota 34a. Okay? And there, the Gemara tells the story of why there is no Yontif to celebrate the splitting of the Jordan River. And look how timely it is. I couldn't make this up. Tractate Sota 34a. Odom B'Yarden, when they're still standing in the middle of the Jordan River. Before they went up to the, like in the Red Sea, they went up to over here, right? Remember? Omalahem Yeshua. Yeshua said to them, don't make wave, ha ha ha. No, he said, don't make waves. Don't you? No, he didn't say that. He said, Du'u alma atem over mitayarden. Know the reason why the Jordan is about to split for you. But hear me well. Al minas shetorishu es yoshve oretz pepnechem. On the condition that you drive out all of the inhabitants of the land in front of you. Shenema, because the Torah says in Midbar Lamed Gimel, V'orashtem es kol yoshvei oretz pepnechem. You shall drive out the inhabitants of the land in front of you. By Midbar Lamed Gimel. Im atem osim kain. If you do this, when you come here, you tell our peace partners to get out. Mutav. Good. And the Jordan will split. Vimlav, but if you don't fulfill your end of the bargain, bo in mayin v'shotfem etchem. The water will come and you'll be engulfed in a wave of terror. Look in Tractate Sota, Sharona 34a. It's just incredible. 3,000 years ago. If you don't, vimlav bo in mayim v'shotfem etchem. The waters will engulf you with a wave of terror. And therefore, since we did not fulfill, Rivka, our part of the deal, so therefore, you don't deserve a holiday. And that's why nobody says anything about splitting of the Jordan River. We did not fulfill our part of the deal. Unfortunately, we did not, right? So therefore, unlike Kriyas Yamsuf, there's no yontif to commemorate Kriyat Yarden, which took place, Yehuda, 40 years later on the 10th of Nisan. But we didn't fulfill our part of the deal. We let our enemies stay here, and we showed them false mercy. Therefore, we're engulfed in a wave of terror, and we don't deserve a yontif. Isn't it incredible? You didn't know that, did you, yo? Good you came today. Well, by the way, tomorrow at 10:30 at the Yasper Yeshiva, everybody's welcome, men and women. We'll show you highlights in the Haggadah. So if you're not busy tomorrow at 10:30, please bring a Haggadah, and you'll have very good stuff to say at the Seder, at the Yasper Yeshiva tomorrow at 10:30. Yeah, and we have a class this Thursday, 2 o'clock, on Shabbos Haggadah and the current events. This Thursday at 2 o'clock.
That's on Sunday and Thursday.
This Thursday we have a class, and Sunday we have a class. And the following Thursday, no. But this Thursday we do have a class, current events in the Haftorah. And this next Sunday we have a class, and then we go on break. But this Thursday we're here at 2 o'clock. I hope to see you. And you're welcome to come to the Yasper Yeshiva, 10:30 tomorrow and Tuesday and Wednesday.
Next Sunday as well.
And next Sunday at 2 o'clock right here, and Thursday 2 o'clock here. Yes, you had a question?
No, I just wanted to make a comment.
Go ahead.
That the people that were in the land at that time.
Go ahead.
There shouldn't be any misunderstanding. They're not the people who are here now. The people here now who are claiming that before us are not the same.
Rivka, you must have ESP. The Orachayim HaKadosh. You can look it up. I should have made copies for you, Chaval. The Orachayim HaKadosh says, in Devorah 20, where it says, V'harashtem es kol yoshvei ha'aretz. Devorah 20, pasok 52. It says, V'harashtem es kol yoshvei ha'aretz. You shall drive out all the inhabitants of the land. So Rivka says, maybe it's only referring to the Canaanites, right? Says the Orach Chaim HaKadosh, right? Kan midaber hakatuv chutz mizayin amamin. Here the Torah is speaking besides the 7 nations. V'lezeh dagdek loimer es kol yoshvei haaretz. So therefore the Torah says in Devorah 20, pasok 52, Yehuda, you shall drive out es kol yoshvei haaretz. What is kol? Afilu she'eino mizayin amamin. Even if they're not part of the 7 nations, you're supposed to drive them out. So the Orach Chaim HaKadosh anticipated Rivka's thought. You might think it's only the 7 Canaanite nations, says the Orach Chaim in Devorah 20:52. V'lezeh dagdek lomer. Therefore, the Torah. What's dagdek, Yehuda? Dagdek. Exact as kol yoshvei haaretz. What's the kol? Loimar afilu she'eino mizayin amamin. Even if they're not part of the 7 nations, you're supposed to drive them out. So the Torah is not PC, Ruvain. The Torah is not politically correct. So if the Chaim HaKadosh would be alive today, Charona, I think the Shavak would also be knocking on, who's that knocking on my door?
Well,
Unfortunately. Meir Khan didn't make up anything. He's saying what the Chaim is saying, right? I mean, right? So, unfortunately, we ignore the Torah at our own peril. At our own peril, unfortunately. Let's speak a little bit about Pesach. Now, Seder Night, everything revolves around 4. You have 4 questions, right? You have 4 sons or 4 children. You have what? 4 cups of wine. You have 4 terms of endearment, right? 4. V'hitzesi, I took you out. V'hitzalti, I rescued you. V'ga'alti, I redeemed you. V'lakachti, and I took you to be my people. So therefore, arba l'shodesh shel gula. So we call it 4 terms of endearment, 4 cups of wine, 4 questions, 4 sons, right? How come everything revolves around, and also, by the way, 4 Torah mitzvahs on Pesach night? Did you know that, Shirley? 4 Torah mitzvahs. To eat korban Pesach, to eat matzah, to eat moror, v'yigada tolebincha. Arba koisas is only the Rabbanan. Only Rabbanan. But Pesach night contains 4 Torah mitzvahs. To eat the korban Pesach, to eat matzah, to eat moror, and to read the Haggadah, v'yigada tolebincha.
Both men and women.
Right. Men and women have all the obligations of Pesach, as even though the time-bound mitzvot. So the question is, why does everything revolve around what? 4. So the Gemara in Sota says, B'schar noshim tzidkoniot nigalu Yisrael miMitzrayim. The exodus from Egypt happened not because of the chief rabbi Moses and Aaron. It happened only for the noshim tzidkoniot, David. What's the noshim tzidkoniot? The righteous women. Who represents the righteous women? The mamas. Not the papas. So therefore, Exodus night revolves around the number 4, buddy, because in the Schar Noshim Tzidkoniot, the Gula came only for the righteous women, in their merit. Who represents the righteous women? The 4 mothers, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, and Leah. So to give credit to them, therefore, the Seder night, which only happened because of them, revolves around 4, representing the righteous women, who are represented by the 4 mothers of Israel. And the Zohar says that just like the first Geula, Mitzrayim, happened in the Schar Noshim Tzidkoniot, so the final Geula, which were very close, the final Geula will also happen only in the Schar of what? Noshim Tzidkoniot, you righteous women, right? Noshim Tzidkoniot, what?
It only happened in the month of Nissan, is that correct?
Well, if you were listening to the Haftorah yesterday, Ezekiel 45:18. Took my spirulina in the morning, Baruch Hashem. Ezekiel 45:18 says that the 3rd temple will be inaugurated Barishon Ba'abos Hodesh. Barishon Be'echad L'Chodesh. Slicha. Didn't take enough spirulina. Barishon Be'echad L'Chodesh. that the third temple will be inaugurated when? Rosh Hodesh Nissan. That's pretty amazing. You have the date, Ezekiel 45:18, yesterday's reading. Yecheskel says that the third temple will be open for business on Rosh Chodesh Nissan. He says, Berishon be'echad lachodesh. Like,
Falls on Shabbos.
So it's not gonna be this year?
this year won't be because the date passed. So remember the Dodgers? Wait till next year. The Dodgers, wait till next year. The Yankees didn't have to say that. I was a Yankee fan. But the Dodgers would always say, wait till next year. So remember, buddy, you have Torah. Cheskel 45:18, that the third temple will be open for business on Rosh Chodesh Nissan. What's amazing about that? You look at Exodus 40, verse 17. When did the Mishkan begin operating? Rosh Chodesh Nissan. So it's the long and winding road. Ta-ta. So the Mishkan began operating and open for business Rosh Chodesh Nissan 3,328 years ago. And Yecheskel says that Bayish Shlishi will also begin open for business when? Berishon be'echad lachodesh. Berishon means the first month. Be'echad lachodesh was Chodesh Nissan. Wow, which was yesterday. So we blew it this year.
But not the first and second temple, they didn't start on the first.
Right, so therefore he's speaking about Bayish Shlishi. The first and second temple didn't operate on Rosh Chodesh Nissan, but Bayish Shlishi will surely, because Bayish Shlishi is the climax and the culmination of what began in the Mishkan and Midbar Sinai. It's a long and winding road.
It's not allowed to be erected until the first of Nisan as well.
That's right, I just said that. Exodus 40, verse 17. I just said that. Exodus 40, verse 17, that the Mishkan began to operate for business on Rosh Chodesh Nissan. And Yecheskel yesterday said that Bayish Shlishi will also begin operating Chodesh Nissan. I want to say, it's obvious that it's what? It's one long process. In fact, the Zohar says that the Geula in Mitzrayim was only the beginning. The climax would only come with what? With the final Geula. Mashiach. So the first Redeemer, his name was Moses, right? And the final Redeemer, his name will be Mashiach ben David. Mashiach is not his name. Mashiach means anointed, right? But it's a process that began at Yetzias Mitzrayim, and the climax will not come until what? Until Bayish Shlishi. So we missed it this year. It's amazing. We have the date when the temple begins to function. Mashiach has to come before that because it takes time to build a temple, right? But it will begin to operate, says Yecheskel, Berishon be'echad lachodesh. Amazing. So Mashiach has to come before that because that's when it opens for business, okay? Open for business. But interesting that Pesach is the only Chag that we on the Torah are not on the same page. Reuven, can we be on the same page? You look in the Chumash, the Torah calls the Chag Sukkot, we call it Sukkot. Shvuot. Yom Kippur. Ma Nishtana, I'm not joking. If you don't write this Ma Nishtana down, I'll be disappointed with you. David, you can't ask the same Ma Nishtanas every year. Ma Nishtana, Pesach, Michol HaChagim. You won't find this in the Haggadah. Otherwise, I'll be unemployed. I'm giving you a fifth kasha. I'm not joking, Shoshana. Ma Nishtana, Pesach, Michol HaChagim. It's the only Chag that we and the Torah are not on the same page. Reuven, you writing this down? It's a Ma Nishtana. The Torah never calls the Chag Pesach. The Torah always calls the Chag HaMatzot. Pesach refers to the lamb chop on the 14th of Nisan. So we never call the Yontiv Chag HaMatzot. We always call it Pesach. Akosher and Pesach. You should say Akosher and Chag HaMatzos. That's what you should say. Next time you say to somebody, you say, no, Akosher and Pesach, right, Your Honor? Say, no, Akosher and Chag HaMatzos. The Torah never calls the Chag Pesach. Reuven, never. You can trust me, never. It all Chag HaMatzot. Pesach refers to the Korban Erev Pesach. We, on the other hand, Elisheva always call the Chag what? Pesach. Can't we all get along? Who said that? I think Rodney King. Can't we all be on the same page? This is a manishtana kasha rivka. If you don't ask this, manishtana Pesach. We call it Chagim, David. It's the only Chag that we and the Torah are not on the same page. Can't we all get along? So what's the answer?
Could it be because we want to remember the Korban Pesach?
So that's Pesach. That's the Korban. But why can't we call it the same name as the Torah does? Yes, Sharona?
We call it Pesach to honor God. God calls it Haggadah to honor us.
Ooh, Sharona. First day back on the job, and you come up with a gem. A gem. Rabbi Yitzchak Barditchev says this. I'll fine-tune what Sharona said. Beautiful. I'll fine-tune it. To answer this question, we have to what? Why at the end of the Seder did we read Shir Hashirim? Didn't we say enough already? Didn't we say enough? At the end of the Seder, if you're still awake, Rabbi Yaakov, right? You're supposed to say Shir Hashirim, Madua v'lama. There's a verse there, it says, Ani ledodi v'dodi li. I am always praising my lover, and my lover is always what? Praising me. And that's why we on the Torah are not on the same page, says Rabbi Yitzchak Barditchev. And that's why you read Shir Hashirim. When two people are madly in love with each other, they always compliment and praise the other. God calls it Chag HaMatzot. What does God call it Chag HaMatzot? It's a verse in Yirmiyahu, hearty chesed norayich, ahavas kolasoyich. God tells Jeremiah in chapter 1, Yiddish David, I remember the love when you were my young kala. You ran after me in the midbar. You had no food. All you had was a shtik ala matzah. You didn't ask me, where are you taking me? Midbar Sinai? There's not even a 7-Eleven there. 7-Eleven? Where are you taking me? No, there's no Starbucks, nothing. So God tells Jeremiah, I remember the chesed you showed me. God says, you showed me chesed. You trusted me when you were my young kala. And you said, sweetheart, I'll follow you anywhere. No Motel 6, no 7-Eleven. So God calls it Chag HaMatzot, like Sharona said, praising us. The matzah represents our love and devotion to Him. My endless love. Not a joke, why the matzah's round, says the Zohar. Remember that song? I'm not joking. They got everything from us. My endless love. Who sang that? Lionel Richie, come on. My endless love. It's a circle. It has no beginning and no end. That's why the matzah is round. The Zohar says the round matzah is the wedding band that God gave us on Pesach night. Pesach night we became His kala. Look at Jeremiah 1. Jeremiah was a prophet. So the matzah is round, a symbol of God's endless love for us, and that's why the wedding band is round. So God is praising us, calls it Chag HaMatzot. We, on the other hand, Ani l'doidi v'doidi li, what does Pesach represent? The Paschal Lamb, David. We worship the Paschal Lamb. You know that? Look in Yecheskel. It wasn't just the mitzvah. We also worship the Pesach Lamb. Kind of bizarre. But in India today, holy cow. A few months ago, not a joke, someone hit a cow in India and he killed it. You know, cows wander in the streets. And he killed the cow. They pulled him out of his car and they lynched him. They lynched him. So it's not so crazy. Crazy in India, they worship the cow. In Egypt, the Egyptians and the Jews worship the lamb. And yet, Pesach, what does Pesach mean? God lovingly passed over our homes, even though we also worshipped Avodah Zarah. So God said, take the object of your worship, which is the lamb, and do it my way. Da-da-da-da. Therefore, says Rambam, why didn't God command us to take a turkey on Pesach night? Turkey has less cholesterol. You know that, it has less cholesterol. Says Rambam, since we sinned with the lamb, we worship the lamb, God says take the lamb and do a mitzvah out of it. We worship the lamb, Yecheskel. The Jews were addicted to lamb worship. In Mitzrayim, sounds crazy, right? But no crazy in a holy cow in India. So therefore, we call it Pesach. That even though we also worship the lamb, God lovingly what? Passed over the Jewish homes when he killed the mitzvah, even though we also worshipped Avodah Zarah. When a Jew does it, it's what? Much worse. So therefore, that's Ma Nishtana, why Pesach is the only Chag that we in the Torah are not on the same page. We have time for another Man. I'm not right. If you don't write this, I'll be disappointed. Another Ma Nishtana. You can't ask the same 4 questions every year. I give you another Ma Nishtana. Ma Nishtana Pesach Mikol HaChagim. All the other Chagim, there's a mitzvah to sit in the sukkah. There's a mitzvah to talk about it? No. There's a mitzvah to sit in the sukkah. There's no mitzvah to talk about it. Just do it, Nike. There's a mitzvah to blow the shofar. The mitzvah to talk about it? No, just do it. The mitzvah to shake a lulav and esrog. Shake, shake, shake. Mitzvah to talk about it? No. Ma nishtana Pesach matzah and morer. The Mishnah says in Tractate Psachim, in the end, Rabbi Gamliel says, even though you ate Pesach matzah and morer, you're not yotze unless you speak about it. Ma nishtana. Rabbi Yaakov, Ma nishtana Pesach. All the other mitzvot, Nike, just do it. No mitzvah to speak about the sukkah. No mitzvah to speak about lulav and esrog shofar. Just do it. Ma nishtana Pesach. The Mishnah says in Masechta Psachim and Arei Psachim that even though you ate Pesach matzah and morer, if you didn't explain it, it's like you ate Cheerios. I mean kosher Pesach Cheerios. That's just unbelievable, Rivka. That's just unbelievable. I did it. I ate Pesach matzah and morer. I shook a lulav. No, you didn't explain it. It's like you ate what? Tofuri or spirulina. But why? What? Why? That's a Ma Nishtana Chanoch, Ma Nishtana Pesach. All the other Chagim, the mitzvahs, just do it. Pesach, no. You did it. Nothing unless you explain it. So to answer this question, you have to what? Ask another. You know, on Pesach night, the Maral explains, we became God's holy people. Therefore, yesterday we had a Pashas HaChodesh Lechem, Pashas Tazria. What does Pashas HaChodesh got to do with Pashas Tazria? Tazria speaks about the birth of the baby. Pashas HaChodesh is the birth of Am Yisrael. Maral says the Jewish people were born in Pashas HaChodesh. So it's matim to read Pashas HaChodesh, buddy, together with Tazria. A lady gives birth to a baby, and God, Kaviyachal, gave birth to the Jewish people when? On Pesach night. So it's matim Pashas HaChodesh. So the birth of the Jewish people when God created us as His holy people. Pesach, Matzah, and Morer. The Rambam tells us that 13 principles of faith to be a loyal Jew. Ani Mamin, Ani Mamin. To be a loyal Jew, you have to know the 30 principles of faith. Do you know all of them? No, neither do I. But I'm lucky because Rav Yosef Albo in Sefer Ikrim gave me 3 Ikrim. And if you know the 3, you know the 13. You hear this, buddy? Saved by the Bell. Rav Yosef Albo in the year 1414 wrote a book called Sefer Ikrim, where he summarizes the Rambam's 13 principles of faith into the 3. And if you know the 3, you got the 13 in your back pocket. What's the first one? To believe there's a one and only God. Number 2, to believe in Torah min hashamayim. The rabbis didn't make it up. God gave the Torah, written in the oral. And the 3rd is schar va'onish. To believe in what? Reward and punishment. If you see, buddy, you check the 13, you'll see how each of the 13 fit neatly into what? Ephraim? 3. What are the last of the 13? Believe in Mashiach and the resurrection of the dead. That fits into schar va'onish. Be Miller time, right? The last of the 13 principles is to believe in what, Yehuda? In the resurrection of the dead, the Mashiach will come. That's schar va'onish. Eventually, everybody gets what they deserve. So all of the 13 fit neatly into what? 3. Believe in one and only God, Torah min hashamayim, and schar va'onish. If you know those 3, you got the 13 in your back pocket. Now, you know why Pesach, Matzah, and Morer, you have to speak about it. It's not enough just to do it. The Maral says, because Pesach, Matzah, and Morer, on the night that we became God's holy people, He wants us to take a pledge of allegiance. or I would call it a loyalty oath. I'm going to show you how Pesach, Matzah, and Maror, Ruvain, is I pledge allegiance to God. What we say the first ikar of Yahadut was? To believe in the one and only God and reject Avodah Zarah. The Jews worshiped the lamb. When God said, take the lamb and kill it and eat it, that was a demonstration of rejection of Avodah Zarah and belief in one God. Otherwise, why would they take their Avodah Zarah that they worshipped and shecht it and burn it and eat it? That's their God. Try that in India. They'll lynch you. So that was accepting the first principle of Yahadut, to believe in one only God. What's next? Torah min hashamayim. That's matzah. Why? If I didn't believe that God gave the Torah, that the rabbis made it up, would I spend 250 shekels a kilo of hand matzah? 250 shekels for a kilo of matzah. Matzah, man. If I believed the rabbis made up the Torah, I wouldn't spend so much money on what? On matzah and all the haravanya of Pesach and knocking myself out. The mitzvah of matzah and all surrounding proves that I believe that what? That God gave the Torah. Otherwise, what am I sweating and bullets and spending so much money on matzah and Pesach? That proves the second principle. That what? Torah min hashamayim. And what do we say the third principle is? Schar va'onish. What does that mean? Reward and punishment. That's moror. That all bitterness in life, everybody has, it's not stam. It's all part, David, of schar va'onish. You can't get away from it. You make a deal, it doesn't go good, disappointments and tzarot. It's not stam. It's all part of schar va'onish. How do you say that in English? Reward and punishment. So on the night that we became God's holy people, David, which was when? Pesach night, I pledge allegiance, says the Maral. Pesach, Matzah, and Maror, when you talk about it, what are you actually doing? You're reaffirming belief in the Jewish religion. Pesach, the one and only God, otherwise you wouldn't take your Avodah Zarah and shecht it and eat it. Matzah, spending so much money on matzah and all of the toil and effort of Pesach that you do, that's only because you believe that Torah ben Shemayim. If I believe the rabbis would make it up, I can buy myself biscuits for 50 cents, not 250 shekels. And the third principle of schar va'onish, that's moror. That all suffering in life is what? Part of the scheme that we call what? A reward and punishment. Right? That the Gemara in Chulin, page 7 says, David, a person doesn't stub his toe down here unless God ordained it. Chulin, page 7. A person does not stub his toe down here unless what? No one can give you a bad hair day, Ruvain, unless what? God decreed it. That's schar va'onish. And that, by explaining moror, that's the third ikar of Yahadut. So Pesach, Matzah, and Maror is a loyalty pledge of allegiance on the night that we became God's holy people. Therefore, unlike all other mitzvahs, it's not enough to talk about it, but you have to explain it, because what are you doing, says Maral? You're reaffirming your ani mamins. Well, all 13 fit nicely into these three, Pesach, Matzah, and Maror, a pledge of allegiance on the night that we became God's holy people and His bride. So the Kala and the Chasam pledge my endless love. So it's not enough to do Pesach, Matzah, and Maror. You also have to what? Talk about, explain it. Any questions, comments? Hope I see you on Thursday at 2 p.m. Current events in Haftorah. Thank you very much.